Yeah, I mean, I think this was meant to be
The
a
bondage.
BDSM.
That,
See?
you know, it's now about umbrellas.
Bonjour, mon amour.
No.
Oui.
This was a cold, muddy, very cold, muddy,
Freezing.
muddy
Night. And Sam was in just a white shirt,
That was freezing
laying
cold.
on the floor.
Wild. Yeah.
Oh, you should talk about the rig. You know, they're like, you talk about your rig. Like
Usually when I do that levitating thing, I'm on a rig. And it's kind of like a kind of awkward thing because you have to kind of balance on your heels to sort of do that sort of very quintessential like vampire rising out of the... but it was really muddy. Wow, we're really giving away all the
You
fun.
did it a few times. You did it a few times.
On the real rig?
Yeah.
No, I just
No, on that, like, it was like a thing that went around your waist. And then on one of the shots, and you were like... And the reason I remember is because I couldn't get through a take.
without me laughing.
No, like it was...
No, because in the end, it didn't like that rig didn't work. So I'm just sitting on the box, like just like basically sitting up like that, and it was pretty funny. I think
was
the
hilarious.
majority of every time you cut out that scene, I'm just laughing because it is so ridiculous.
I have a new piece, Concerto for Gerstrat and Orchestra.
There was a piece of music written by Daniel Hart that I did perform on the day and used the wound as an instrument. It was kind of like a sort of like a glass rim sort of sound. It was rancid. I think it was probably right to remove it because it didn't really need it. And the bird is the featherless bird. But when I read that for the first time in the script, I was like, what? There's a lot of imagery in there that I'm sure represents something that it's probably best left unexamined.
So don't watch it.
Watch it. Don't think about it too much.
Is Claudia the bird?
Oh, okay, we're thinking about it.
No, I didn't think she is. I didn't.
The end.
I don't.
I think-
No, I don't think she is.
Yeah, I don't think Claudia is the bird. I don't think Louis imagines her as a featherless bird.
Was she worth it? Yes. You say it like you believe it.
Hey, I've got an idea. I have a line in French, which I can't remember, from season 1 about the birds in Paul's head.
It's the birds.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the birds.
So I think that's probably highlighting like Louis' sort of insanity.
And also Louis' paranoia about, did Lestat put ideas into Paul's head?
Right, would you do?
Like, link it.
Let's just clear that up. Lestat never killed Paul.
But Louis is paranoid about that.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah.
it lingers.
So hurry up, mon cher.
I wonder what, like, anybody objectively looking at Louis would have seen when Lestat bites him. Is he just going,
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think so.
Get away from there! I'm a birdie! Cheek, cheek, cheek!
how long did you rehearse?
I rehearsed for it, I think, in total 5 times. When I had read it in the script, I thought it was going to be so much different than what it is. But it's like, I really love it.
I'm gonna flap my wings and fly far, far You know I will!
I also love the progression that, like through like how more and more over it Claudia gets like each time.
Yeah, because me and Levin were talking about it, and he was saying it should be a progression. And then he came back and he was like, no, she hates it. Just hate it. And I was like, yeah, she does hate it.
I have lost my passion for work on stage.
I think it's something that she hopes for, but what the role entails is not what she wants. So when she gets it, sees the dress, she hates it. Straight off the bat, she has no qualms about that.
It makes her mad.
And yeah, and she gets on stage. I think there's an element of her that likes being on stage, but not in this particular role.
More bird imagery as well.
Yes. Oh.
He loves the breeze.
Gosh,
Got
we
me
need
with
to be
that one.
grilling Roland Jones about his bird obsession.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
How does Louis feel watching Claudia do this performance?
I think, like, Louis is just not into the theatre generally. He's so over it. Like, when they reach Paris, he hates it. But I think this is just one humiliation too far. No, I think he's really trying to be supportive. Like, he genuinely wants to support her, but it's just...
He knows her.
he knows her, and it's also just like it's in such bad taste. It's just grim. Yeah, Louis not a fan.
But she's flapping her wings. We're getting free.
I remember like Levin said something to me about that. He was like, you should be proud of her at some point. Like it should be an element of like, this is what she wanted and she got there.
In a way, yeah.
He knows how perverse this is.
What are we hunting for, mon cher?
What are you hungry for, Lestat?
Anything you want to talk about with this scene, Sam? Possibly like one of the worst evenings of my professional life. Something went wrong with the rain machine, and I just got a hose stacked directly to the face. It was supposed to be behind me.
Yeah.
But obviously when somebody's holding a hose with their arms get tied. It's a long scene. So like slowly the flow of water was just like getting lower and lower and lower until it was just like direct hits.
There isn't gonna be a hunt, is there?
I enjoyed doing this. Like when I read this, I remember being like, oh, like Louis and Lestat they're talking, like they're hanging out. It feels like, even though it's a breakup, like it feels like it resembles something of Jackson Square, kind of like lazy conversation. Then they're on the bench, like
breakup with he's a rather kind of compliant and kind of like happy-go-lucky dream stat.
Yeah, it's not really.
He's sort of quite sweet and it's like happy to like, oh, you don't want to hunt? Let's go sit down. You want to sit down? Great, that sounds fun. Ooh, well.
A very heartbreaking performance from Sam Reid in this scene.
Well, it's mostly special effects.
I can't believe he made himself disappear.
I didn't do that.
There was one bit.
Say apple. Apple. Say it in French.
And you're like, le pomme. And like your face just like like it's very good.
Because the dream
like
realizes that he's a dream, that he's not real. Yeah. This is really, representing Louis letting go of Lestat so he can move on and build a relationship and build a new sort of like persona with Armand.
But I used to be real good at running things.
Probably nearly one of my favorite moments in the whole season between Louis and Armand when Louis says,
I'm a little wet.
And it's just this amazing thing.
It's the beginning of their sub-dom dynamic.
Yeah. I think originally there was meant to be some actual like bondage in this scene between the two of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was meant to be
the bondage.
A BDSM. See,
it's now about umbrellas.
What does Dream Lestat taking the umbrella off of Louis mean to Louis?
I think that's Louis letting go. Like that's the moment where he makes the decision to be free of Lestat as like this thing that hovers over him and Armand's relationship. Like how is he supposed to be this kind of like a new version of himself? This businessman, this like more empowered, hardened version of Louis if he's got this like daffy ghost on his shoulder the whole time. It's like, I think it's very literally, he's just like, okay, we're gonna start fresh.
I'm staying in Paris with you.
And then he hands the umbrella over to Armand. He's like, you hold it. I'm the boss now. I'm the captain now.
Sam, you referred to Louis killing Lestat as a breakup, but this is kind of the breakup after the breakup in a way. How did you guys approach that?
I think I see Dream Lestat as like a different kind of character. And one of the things that we talked a lot about at the beginning was, why is Louis remembering this version of Lestat, who is kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call him daffy, but I guess he could be occasionally daffy. He's more compliant, definitely.
And you say what I want you to say now.
Do I?
He's also like the gentler moments, which is kind of, what we took from the book, is that particularly when Lestat talks about how Louis remembers their relationship, he was like, well, he never talked about the sweet, gentle, kind moments between the two of us.
But it's funny that that's what he holds on to. It's not Lestat, but he's definitely an echo of something.
Louis' memory of some kind, or what he's holding on to. I mean, the only time you ever really see anything that might be real is that in episode 2, there's a letter that Louis finds that Lestat has written to Louis. And I became obsessed with trying to work out when that was written. It doesn't really matter when it was written, but everything else that you kind of see is also Louis putting those words into Lestat's mouth. So it's kind of sweet in a way, because when he's like,
Why this suit?
Louis says, well, it's my favorite. And Lestat says, well, you might not know this, but I had to tailor and inscribe your initials on my
Yeah.
And Louis is kind of sitting there, like imagining that this is true. I mean, it's whether or not it's true, it doesn't matter. It's more the fact it's like, this is obviously a relationship that Louis needs to let go of, because you know, when you're really in that deep, you can't move on.
Are you ready, you filthy animal?
He's so good.
He really is.
I love his version of Santiago.
Yeah. And Ben Daniels is such a mischievous actor.
Yeah.
So naughty, yeah.
Yeah.
The jury may be seated.
So this is the end of episode 6. Episode 6 is one of my favorite episodes in the whole season.
I think it might be my favorite.
Yeah, I love it so much, but mostly because of Claudia and Madeleine's story. I just love that story so much, and it's so devastating that what happens.
So quickly as well.
Yeah, because you just get in there and you just sort of like, oh my god, she's so, you know,
Yeah.
like so happy for Claudia, and she finally gets, you know, what she deserves really, which is a happy relationship.
A
with
glimpse
someone
of
who
it.
can love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's stripped very, very quickly. Yeah, Roxanne's amazing as Madeleine. Very excited for everyone to see their relationship.
It's so, you guys have such beautiful chemistry. Where,
yes.
Like it's so, yeah, it's it's like
Very
the
pure.
biggest, I think it's the great tragedy of this
Yeah.
part of the story. Because it's like, it's pure. It's so honest. It's so based on like honesty
Yeah.
and them meeting each other like halfway. It's like, it's the relationship that the other relationships in this show, in this story can't be. It's the perfect vampire companionship.
She would be a better companion to Claudia.
And Madeleine's transformation, Louis has this amazing line when he's talking about her being transformed, and he says, and I saw Claudia, how Madeleine sees her, and she's like in the sunlight and beautiful and resplendent. in the light,
Resplendent,
and-
rendered
Yeah.
in a afternoon light.
Yeah,
Rendered even more beautiful by her beholder.
just so satisfying to know that Claudia was seen by somebody who really loved her.
Delainey and Jacob, what can you guys tell me about being on stage at this moment when the bags get pulled off of Louis and Claudia's heads?
I think initially it's, for Claudia, it's just utter confusion. She remembers the last face she saw was Santiago coming towards her. And then she's on stage, so it's all happening very quickly for her. I think she's getting her bearings, but I think she's also has a bit of relief because Louis and Madeleine are beside her. She was by herself. I think she'd be in much more panic than what she is.
Louis is just like a siren. He's just like, what the fuck is going on? He's horrified. He's like, I think as well because you see in episode 6, like Louis been a real dick. Like he's really hardened. It's hard to get into it because so much of episode 7 is about, like so much of what Louis says is about this moment.
10 minutes to your entrance, Monsieur de Lioncourt.
What was it like kind of getting to play actual Lestat for the first time all season at the end of that episode when he's in the mirror?
Well, I mean, I would say, like, is that actual Lestat, you know? Yeah, so...
No. No, it's not, right?
So, you know, we're still in a narrative. We're still being flashing back to a narrative. It's always complex when you're trying to play multiple levels of storytelling and who's telling the story and how things are remembered. It was, complex. Yeah. But also it was kind of lonely as well because, I'll stop. I will stop.